President Trump and Republican lawmakers meeting at the White House to celebrate the historic passage of tax reform. And reaction is rolling in on Wall Street with the Dow close to the 25,000 mark. Fox Business Network's Nicole Petalides is live from the New York Stock Exchange. Nicole, are traders feeling optimistic about the tax bill?
They are feeling optimistic about the tax bill and what it means for growth for our country. They think it's an American bill. They think ultimately that the working man and woman, the middle class, will have more money in their pocket. Ultimately, about two-thirds of these people don't even have $400 for an unexpected emergency. So big picture, they think corporations will give back. We've heard that from FedEx. They said they can't raise wages until they get better tax plan. You just had the senator on who alluded to what just happened with AT&T. They're going to be giving bonuses of $1,000 to over 200,000 employees. So this is the opportunity for a growth plan, for hiring, for jobs, and the like. As far as the markets, they still feel like the economy is doing well. Earnings are doing better. For example, FedEx did blow it out of the water today. They're seeing the global demand. And we're waiting on Dow 25,000, which most people think is sooner than later.
It looks like it. Nicole, just because I've been interested, what are people doing to cash in on the Bitcoin mania?
Yeah, this is something that has taken our nation by storm. It was less than $1,000 in the beginning of the year, and at one exchange, it even broke through 20,000 this week. This is an unbelievable story, though. A search on Google: buy Bitcoin with credit card. No, don't do that. Nobody wants you using your credit card to buy a cryptocurrency, which some people are still very cautious about. And even when we talk about credit card debt, we have Americans having over $1 trillion in outstanding credit card debt, and that beats out the previous record. So I'm not sure that I would advise anybody to use their credit card to start buying Bitcoin. Seems a little bit wary. How about some great American companies? Or just the S&P 500.
America, listen to Nicole Petalides. She knows what she speaks about, especially don't use your credit card to buy Bitcoin. I think we agree on that. Nicole, thanks so much. We'll continue to watch the Dow right along with you. So while we're looking at the South Lawn, let's bring back Chris Starwalt, because this is a historic day, and he was here with us earlier, and here you are again. So the president has gathered the Republicans. This is their big moment. Do you think that the Democrats felt this kind of euphoria when they passed Obamacare in February 2010?
Well, this is a less epochal thing, right? Obamacare changed the relationship between the government and the governed in a substantial way, in a profound way, and it changed the arc of history in the sense that it said that henceforth the federal government, it is a duty of the federal government to see to the provision of health insurance for the citizens. This is a change in the tax code. And so it is, in one sense, it is historic, it is those things. But this is, I'll put it this way. We ought not be surprised that the party that loves cutting taxes the mostest would be about the business of cutting taxes. It's kind of their jam. I note today, impressive, on messaging and on stagecraft, the ghost of Mike Deaver is looking down, smiling. When this administration it had its abortive effort to repeal and replace Obamacare, when that thing went down, they had a preemptive celebration that turned out to be embarrassing. They did all of this wrong.
Remember the website, and it didn't work.
The woof.
Yeah.
So this time, what you've got is they're going to show a strong Republican unity. They're going to say, we're together and we did this.
But while we have a couple of minutes left, and we're looking at the South Lawn, the president's about to join the Republicans there for this speech. It's pretty interesting political and PR statement by AT&T, who just announced in this hour that they are going to give $1,000 in bonuses to over 200,000 employees. And I'm glad for those employees, but I'm curious what you think about that statement. You know, they want that merger approved. They've run into a little bit of a roadblock there. I mean, money talks. And what do you think AT&T is trying to say?
Well, what they're trying to say is we're nice and we are good and we are excited about spending the tax cut. The success or failure of this legislation depends on whether companies take the windfall from these tax cuts and invest it, or do they take it for profits? And that's the big question mark that hangs over this legislation. If the companies say, great, our taxes are lower, we love it, our shareholders are going to get richer, we're going to get richer, we're going to do that, or are they going to invest? And what AT&T is trying to say is, we're spending it, baby. Thanks for the money. We are spending it. Don't you worry about us sitting on this cash.
Just talking about the generic ballot and the midterms earlier with Steve Scalise, the majority whip, and then with Cory Gardner, the National Senatorial Committee Republican chair. do you think that they have less to worry about heading into the 2018 midterms than they did a week ago when they didn't have this passage?
Well, we'll see. The remaining question is, how do they handle the fiscal cliff stuff over the next probably 2 months? But the truth is, they needed to do something for their base. The Republican base are more affluent suburban voters, and they needed to do something for these people. And these people love tax cuts. And so the Republicans have given their base a reason to stick with them next year.
Okay, let me ask you something about that, though, because and I know it's not a perfect example, but in Alabama and Virginia, those two special elections, the suburbs really turned out, and they turned out for Democrats, and especially women in particular. Now, women like a tax cut just as much as anybody else. Will this actually change their minds and keep them in the Republican camp?
Midterm elections, biennial elections are base versus base contests. This is the Republican Party's bid to fire that base back up, to get the suburbanites. But hey, come on, guys, come on. Forget about all the Trump stuff. Forget about the tweets. Forget about whatever. Remember, we're the Republicans here. Low taxes, strong national defense. We're the party of that. Don't forget about us. And this is, I don't think they had a choice in that way. But now the challenge for Democrats is, can they say to the poor voters, they screwed you over?
Chris Stirewalt, thank you for joining us. It's been really a great hour. President Trump is about to take the stage, so stay with us. I'm Dana. Here's Shep.